If there's one thing you'd say for every level of golfer to remember, to keep in mind, to improve, what would it be? What should they focus on?
Every level of golfer.
Like breaking it down into sort of like high to mid to low.
I would say the number one thing I would focus on is what is happening to your ball flight and your strike. And anything that you decide to change needs to be completely and utterly related to that. And it needs to improve that. And it sounds like an obvious thing to say, but I see too many golfers trying to just simply change the golf swing. And I'm like, when I ask them, I said, well, why are you working on that? Oh, yeah, I just want to get it in here. And I'm like, what has that got to do with your fatting it at the moment? How is that going to improve that? Oh, I don't know. That's my point, right? So it's kind of anything that you're doing right now, make sure that it has one objective, which is to either improve your strike, improve your contact, or improve something to do with your flight. It's not just, you're not just working on swing, basically.
Should always start there with, I mean, whenever you go for a lesson as well, like if you're going in and the first thing that isn't addressed is what is happening to your ball flight, that's you need to focus on that, because that gives you all the information that you need as far as where you need to start with your improvement. So ball flight, absolutely, and because obviously with lessons, we've given a lot of lessons in our time, and once you get in a run and once you understand what's going on, you can pretty much try and understand what's going on very quickly from where that ball is going and how that strike is sounding and the divots and all the rest of it. And I think, like you said, it's amazing. It's amazing how many people used to come in for lessons with a poor strike or a slice or whatever. And the question is, what are you working on? Yeah. And the amount of crazy, wild answers that you get, which have nothing to do with their kind of swing issues.
Yeah, they don't like the look of their swing.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't like this. So they're trying to change the look of it, and it's kind of, it doesn't have any relationship.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely, yeah. It's
kind of Kieran's a really good example of this.
Well, that's kind of interesting, because I was going to mention about, I thought you were going to say something like setup or something like that, but it's interesting that you've kind of...
Well, I think from what like Danny said before with the gentleman who came in for the chipping lesson, so, I mean, a lot of great golfers have amazing swings, amazing technical swings that you look at and you're like, oh, that is just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
But if you spend 2 minutes thinking about 10 golfers who play incredible golf with pretty eccentric, weird moves, that gives you all the information that you need to know that you don't have to have a technically perfect looking swing to play incredible golf. No. It's just what works.
It is, and I think one of the things that's probably hurt golf a lot is like, you'd have these. I mean, look at, so if you take one of the greatest golfers ever lived, Jack Nicklaus. Nobody's talking about modelling Jack Nicklaus's swing. We talk about Ben Hogan's swing, but Ben Hogan didn't win half as many majors as say Jack Nicklaus, right? Great golfer, but because his swing was beautiful, it just people loved it. That's what I want. Right? Yeah. That was almost like worshipped as the swing that everybody should strive towards, right? But I don't know whether that's necessarily true or not. If you look at someone like the world's #1 golfer right now, Scotty Scheffler, he has more resemblance, I think, to Jack Nicklaus in the way he kind of swings. He's kind of elbows up here. He's nice and high with the hands. He's got a bit of a slide going on. He does a lot of things that are similar to Nicklaus, but it wouldn't look like a Ben Hogan at all.
No.
And he's world's #1, and he doesn't do anything what I see wrong at all.
No. Again, I think like Randy Smith, who's kind of coaching him, I think he said from quite an early point, like they've worked on a fair few things technically within the swing, but it's all about trying to move the ball to target as efficiently as possible. And
so like the grip and stuff, simple stuff, anything it's all about target. It's all about what you try to do with the ball flight. Yeah,
exactly. But I think it's easy to forget, and certainly with from what we do, like coaching, it's and making videos, it is a lot about how things look, because that's how you can explain it to people who are watching the videos.
Yeah.
So it is easy to get kind of lost in that. And like I said with Nicklaus is a great example, because when he was, the dominant force in golf, yes, his swing was, not textbook in some ways,
Yeah.
but also his putting.
Yeah.
Like, he was one of the greatest
Yeah,
putters.
exactly. And clutch putters as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if this is going to be a clip or not, but like, try and get some videos of him putting. There's no way if someone comes in for a lesson, you're going to try and coach them into that type of method.
No.
Unless they come in putting like that already and they're holding everything.
Yes.
And then you're like, well, I'm not going to touch this.
But isn't that just another example of, you know, great putters don't necessarily look like what they should look like?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
There's a lot of, I mean, I find that, you know, I think sometimes, you know, even with putting, people can technically look correct, but you just know that they're so mechanical. They've lost that kind of flair. They've lost that touch, that sense of like, oh, you've got to get the ball in the hole.
Yeah.
And there's so much to that start line, but the distance control, the feel, the determination that's in you to kind of get that ball in the hole, you can't measure that.
No. And it is quite a strange one. Like I've been on lessons with Phil Kenyon on my putting.
Yeah.
And he does an amazing job at like looking at every single technical factor of the putting stroke.
Yeah.
Breaking it all down, explaining exactly what's going on, and then just like we had I think it was a 3-hour lesson.
Yeah.
And I think we spent about 40 minutes just on like my position of my neck.
Wow.
Just so I could actually see the line.
Did you get your neck like almost like face down?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I used to call it eat pie. I used to call it.
Yeah. And it was the weirdest thing because like by the end of the lesson, what he'd actually done is just get me into like a really comfortable position over the putt.
And what was the purpose of like for you?
So when I was over the ball, I was seeing every single putt, like I was aiming my putter, I was aiming my body, I was aiming everything a little bit to the right of the target.
Okay.
So over short putts, not a massive difference, but by the time I got to about 20 foot, I was aiming a good kind of 4 or 5 inches outside the right. So I was
and that was
pulling
because
everything.
of your head position?
Like posture, head positioning.
Wow, okay.
Loads of like just
where your eyes were relative to the ball.
Yeah, all these little details, which was making me aim odd.
Yeah.
And you know, golf, aim orientated sport, especially on putting.
Very much so. Yeah.
So it's kind of like just those little things managed to get me into a really good.
So how did you how did he kind of get you to change? How did you figure out where your eyes needed to be?
It was just like real simple, like a trial and error as far as okay, get set up.
Yeah.
Here's where you are. Step away. Get set up. Try and get closer. Get this neck bend position in.
Yeah.
And it was just like a full session of that. It was kind of eye opening.
Yeah.
About how he managed to make so many changes without really changing too much.
No, but I think that's what great coaching is about.
Yeah.
You know, get into the root cause of the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway, stop blowing smoke up Phil's bum. Right, next one.
That was